So can you imagine what that must have been like living in this house with those three unique women? I mean, you had Eudora Welty, her mother, and Fanny Cook with all those specimens. We might get an idea by visiting the Belmont Hotel up in Belmont, Mississippi. It's a historic hotel run by three generations of women. Let's check in.
The railroad came through, was built in 1908, and then they built the hotel in 1924. And I always like to say it survived the Depression, World War II, and now us. The Belmont Hotel is one of the oldest continuously operating hotels in the state of Mississippi. In 1924, there were 8 businessmen in Belmont who decided Belmont needed a hotel. With the hotel being built in 1924, the Depression was just around the corner. And I've heard stories of how excited they were to have the brand new hotel, and the Depression hit, so it really hit hard, but the hotel survived the Depression. I've heard of stories where they sold some light fixtures to pay the taxes. And there have been several owners over the years. The Wright family had it many years. The Deatons had it for 20 years or so, and now we have it. We bought the hotel in 2017. My husband and I are empty nesters, and we thought it would be a neat little project, or I did. We had just gotten this hotel. We had just signed the papers, and it was in October. My husband's a football coach, and so it was a tough time because of all the activity going on, and here we had this new endeavor of the hotel. And I was overwhelmed and literally said a prayer one night with one word, help. And the very next day, a gentleman walked in and he said, this is perfect. This is exactly what I'm looking for. And he was trying to find a place to film an untold story of World War II. And they were amazed at how, oh my word, it looks just like it did back then. We have the original pine floors. The ceiling is original. I will say, over the years, all of the owners have been very careful to try to keep it as original as possible. Even the color scheme is the same as it was. The colors were vibrant in those days. Of course, there have been obvious renovations to add more bathrooms to the rooms, that sort of thing. Many years ago, there were only 2 bathrooms upstairs, one at each end. And I will say, when we first got this hotel, a lady said, the only problem I have with that hotel is that everybody has to share a bathroom. And I did not dare say this, but I wanted to say, well, what year are you speaking of? We have had renovations since then. All the rooms have bathrooms now. We have Wi-Fi, we have cable. Of course, I'm still working as a school counselor. My mother, who was a retired teacher, and my daughter, we kind of tag team and run this hotel.
So I just help with the marketing details of the hotel, upcoming events, taking calls, checking people in.
Well, I'm retired so that I'm available anytime they need me. And so I fill in whenever they're working. Everything that has to be done, I can do it.
Of course, being the youngest of 3 generations has its challenges. It's always very interesting to have all the dynamics together.
Choke you! I'm gonna get Jenny Lynn.
Because we're all very hard-headed and high-strung.
It is rewarding to work with Jenny Lynn and Natalie. I mean, it has served a great purpose for people whenever they have weddings, they come from out of town and they need a place to stay, and funerals, those people. And so we just try to accommodate them whenever they come and realize their purpose for being here, and we want to make them happy. We had a group of New Yorkers that were very interesting, very interesting. They all had to have their shirts ironed, and so we did it. Whatever it takes, we do it.
Mother usually sees them off, sees the guests off in the morning, and then it's time for the cleanup part. After school, I get here, check in guests, and then a lot of times my daughter might stay overnight. And of course, if we have an event, then it's time to call everybody, get everybody here. Many years ago, the phone booth, it is original to the hotel. It was placed by the front door, and this couple is getting married, and the phone just keeps ringing in the middle of the ceremony. And the preacher even stopped and said, you know, you might want to get that. They're a happily married couple, and so they always enjoy telling that story. Beginning in 1924, you can imagine the history and the people that have come through the hotel is phenomenal. The stories that people will come by and tell us are just unbelievable. When they were children running up and down the stairs playing hide and go seek. And that is one thing that people refer to this hotel when they walk in the door. It does have a nostalgic appeal about it, and they say, I feel like I'm coming to Grandma's house. I feel like I'm coming home. I do believe with my mother and my daughter and I all joining forces, make it a place where you see the young, middle-aged, and older coming together as one, working together. And I do believe for our generation, the younger folks need to see that. We're celebrating life from one generation to the next, and let's all do our part.
Thanks for joining us. If you like what you see, subscribe to Mississippi Public Broadcasting. Till next time, I'll be seeing you on Mississippi Roads.